All right, and we're recording.
Awesome.
All right, so here we are. I am with Paul Baughman. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know before we started recording. I don't like to get people's names wrong.
I don't.
So Paul is the race director for Horseshoe Bend OCR in Page, Arizona. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get as many interviews of local OCRs as I can this year. I don't know if there's like 100 of them. Probably won't get to all of them, but I'll get to as many as I can. So thank you for being here. And first things first, I want you to tell people when your event is next year, since it's already happened this year, and any details they should know about it.
So next year's event is we just set that date a few weeks ago. It's going to be on April 19th of 2025. So we typically try to have it on that third Saturday of every April. Yeah, so
Cool. All right, awesome. And is registration open? Because I saw on Facebook it said coming soon, but that was
not yet. We're gonna send out there'll be an update actually this week on when registration's gonna open. And I'll let you know it'll open early next month. So we're excited to get that going. We're opening it a lot earlier this year than we did in previous years. We're hoping to give people excited for it early on and start planning. They're out here. There's a lot to do out here, and so we want to give people more time to kind of figure that stuff out, and just to get everything going.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. So you just had this year's event about a month ago. Can you talk about? I'm going to list off of a bunch of things. Don't try and remember all of them at once, but like the distance you had, the number of obstacles, some of the obstacles you had, if there was a competitive wave and were there prizes, and just talk about your event in general.
Yeah. So the distance was just over 4 miles. There was competitive waves to start, and there were what we had called competitive obstacles, that where the competitors received a wristband upon completing those obstacles. But all competitors throughout the day, all registrants or racers throughout the day received a wristband as well if they completed those obstacles. But the competitive heats were the only heats that were able to podium and receive prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just touching on that real briefly for next year, we do have slight changes going into those competitive obstacles for next year, for the competitive heats versus the non-competitive heats. Okay. So more of the fun heats. Our obstacles, a lot of them, or I wouldn't say a lot, but we have several that are strength oriented obstacles. We have heavy stone carry that I was told we don't want to let that one bigger race company know about what we do, because it was much harder.
Okay.
I think we all know who I'm referring to, but I guess our stone carry makes that one look like a walk in the park. And so we have a short range tire flip. We have a sandbag obstacle, which has changed every year, but it generally involves lifting the sandbag up and over either a box or a bar a number of times. And that sandbag weight has varied from year to year. This year was the heaviest, and I heard I got quite a bit of feedback about that. Some good, but most didn't appreciate that weight too much. We have something kind of maybe not unique to our OCR, but we have a tomahawk throw. So
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. That's our accuracy test there. We have a lot of walls and stuff to hop over, some cargo net crawls that are like land bridge that goes up and over small goalie. We have a Z-type wall. We have a 30-foot rig that we're going to be that we change the hanging apparatuses on, and kind of the structures from year to year. Typically involves rings and straight bars, or vertical and horizontal. We plan to actually add to that apparatus next year, likely extending it at least another 10 feet.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we have several other smaller obstacles, but the one that the big one out there is the sand. We have a lot of that around here. And so that's like the hidden obstacle out there. So you are battling a lot of sand on the course.
Okay.
But a lot of the trail is super scenic, and it's super cool. It runs right up against the Colorado River. People look down into the Colorado River. They're in an area that literally nobody else can go to. Like, even paid tours don't even go where our runners are running down and looking into the Colorado River. Completely private land. So that's not an obstacle, but it is in a way, because it's distracting, like,
Okay.
like, selfie time, or do I want to win the race?
Well, also, so a lot of the thing that I loved about OCR when I first started was going to different places, did a lot of mountainous races, and I love the mountains. I love the views, the scenery, like all that. So like, I've seen the pictures that you guys have posted over the years, and even one from, I don't know if it was from this year or not, but that actual horseshoe where the Colorado River cuts through there and everything, that is an amazing view. I don't know any other OCR that has that type of view. So it looks awesome. Yeah.
And it really is. And that's what we kind of, that's like our niche. We have that race. I'm working on making it every year a better OCR, but that part of it is really why I feel like racers have to come, because one day I'm not going to be able to host this OCR out there, because it is private land, because of the tourism that's evolving and whatnot. I hope that day's not anytime soon, but it is going to happen. This area is really evolving in tourism, and I see it someday it's being restricted. It's on the Navajo Nation, and so we worked with them closely, and so but we're at the will of these larger entities,
Sure.
So, but yeah, it is really a beautiful course. And we're working on improving that trail every year, making it a little bit easier to run in spots, and we change it up a little bit every year, so people have a little bit different scenery that are coming back and different route to run. So, but yeah, speaking of the pictures too, that's one thing that we're really focusing on going forward is trying to get more. It's been a challenge for us getting photographers out here. So if anybody's listening to this is interested in coming out, we definitely want to work with building our media around, so we can get some people with some really cool backdrops. We want our racers to have that Horseshoe Bend in their background all the time, and not just our few select photos that we pull from here and there. So
yeah, the photos are a massive selling point.
They are, man. And you think I'd have more of where I'm at. I get photographers lined up, and then you don't know how many issues I've had over the years. It all started around COVID.
Okay.
Of course, all the problems started around COVID, but we're recovering, and we have some big plans going for next year. So
good. All right. So you mentioned a lot of the obstacles. You mentioned the Atlas Stone. I saw, and sandbags also. I saw there was like farmers carry bars also in some of the photos.
Yes, yeah. So we have farmer carry. Some years we did 2 hands. This year we did 1 hand farmer carry. We vary that weight a little bit. Again, touching on that going forward, we plan on maybe separating some of those obstacles, so the competitive heats have a little bit more challenging weight, and so. But we also had some time. What's that?
Can you go into what the weights are?
So
for the Atlas Stone, for example.
The Atlas Stone is about 120-pound Atlas Stone, so It's not terribly bad. But whereas So we have our Atlas stone set up on a hill. On a hill, and it's not just a regular hill. It's like a mound that you kind of go up and over a couple times. And so it's a whole climbing with it and then coming back down this really sandy, like hard to maintain section. And it's probably about 30 yards total, maybe 40 yards, you know, versus 10 yards. So, and again, that uphill and then downhill is the kicker. And so, but 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Still
uphill carrying something heavy, it just stinks in general. And then going downhill on sandy terrain is not easy either. So
and it's a mandatory bear hug too. There's no shouldering or anything.
Okay.
So we put that there. The sandbag though, this year we had it at 150 pounds. Yeah, I definitely stole a few souls out there.
Do you know roughly how long that carry is, the distance?
Well, so that was what they did. We set up a pentagon of bars that were about 30 inches off the ground. And so the bars were 10 feet wide and it was a pentagon, or 10 feet long, and it was a pentagon of them. And so they had to pick it up and lift it over every bar. So essentially they had to go around this pentagon of 10-foot bars. They had to pick it up, carry it to the next one, drop it over, pick it up, carry it to the next one, drop it over.
See, that's way worse. Like picking up one time and just carrying it a distance is one thing, but pick it up, put it down, pick it up.
Yeah.
Well
I definitely heard about that one.
Yeah, that's a great challenge. Nice.
So, but wait, it was great. And see, that's where I wanted that competitive challenge. You know, I don't just want body weight speed stuff out there. We want to incorporate some strength too to you know, make it a more even challenge, you know, across more planes of fitness and not just keep it to that endurance stuff, you know. So
yeah. So I saw a tire in the photos. Was there a tire this year?
Yeah. So we had
how much does that tire weigh?
So the metal tire is right about 300.
Okay.
So and it goes for 100 feet. So it's 50 feet down and 50 feet back. So you have about 12 flips on that. I think no, 14 flips maybe. Yeah, it's
each direction or total.
So no, it's total. You have about 14 flips. Yeah, so they're pretty big tires. Yeah, so yeah.
For some reason in my head, it was like one flip one way and one flip the other, like Spartan used to have or something. But that's more challenging. You're doing way more.
No, they are. And I think those tires, those Spartan tires, those big Toyos are a little bit heavier. I think they're pushing like I think they're maybe 30, 50 pounds heavier than these ones.
Yeah.
And so that's why I make them flip them more. So I just recalled it's not 50 feet. It was 30 feet down and 30 feet back.
Okay. Got it.
And so it's like 6 or 7 flips of the tire, I think, to get down and to get back, maybe 5. But 30 feet down, 30 feet back is what we had it at this year. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the tomahawk throw. Every race seems to have, not everyone, but most of them seem to have like a signature throw. You know, there's spears, there's arrows, which I found that out last week.
Really?
Awesome. Yeah. Highlander assault. They have like bow and arrows, but the arrows have like little balls on the end, so they're not going to kill anyone or anything. But yeah, it's cool. I've seen there was a race in Florida a few years ago. They haven't run it for a while now, called Hildervat, that had like these small little axes, maybe tomahawks, whatever, that used to hit these plates. But for yours, does it need to stick into like a wooden block or something?
Yeah, so they're about 3-foot round tree stumps that we've cut out and placed on targets, and so they have to stick in those tree stumps. But we took it back this year. Last year, I had dialed it in to where it was essentially one full rotation of the tomahawk, and it was like 12 feet away. We took them back an extra rotation, so they're about 22 feet away this time, and that definitely created for more challenges. So we give them essentially with that one too. We give them up to 3 opportunities, additional, but they have to earn them. So they're burpee opportunities. So
I like it.
Yeah, so they got to do 3 burpees if they want another throw, and they can have up to 3 additional throws. So if they want that bracelet, that time, because otherwise it's a time penalty on the bracelet for the competitive heats if they don't get the bracelet. So
got it.
It could be worth it, especially if they're close.
That's a unique spin on it. So for an obstacle like that, because I haven't quite heard of one like that where you get to redo it, but you have to pay a penalty. Some obstacle races, you can redo the obstacle as many times as you want, and if you complete it, you're good. Or some, if you don't complete it the first time, you do the penalty and move on. Does it take a lot of volunteers at an obstacle like that where you have a penalty price to go again?
No, we just ran with one. Yeah, it's Leo. He's been our tomahawk guy since day one, year one out there, and so he's never had any issues with holding them. 3 is pretty easy, I think, to count. We only have 5 targets going, and we try to heat it and space that one out so it never really bottlenecks. So he's never really too overloaded there. We have him behind a couple of obstacles that really space some people out. So he does good. Yeah, no, we haven't had any issues with him, or we don't have to have too many going for that. Now, as we grow, that's, or with more people the larger we get, if we decide to run bigger heats, I could see that possibly being something we're gonna, look at as being prepared for. But he's been good so far.
Okay. Festival area. What type of stuff do you have? Are there like food trucks, sponsor tents, that type of thing?
So when we were in the city, we did it one year. We did have more of a festival area. In these years past, we haven't. We've working with the reservation with their food handler. So anybody that comes to our course that sell food has to have a special food handler's permit because of the reservation. But we have actually, as of this last race, we're in contact with somebody who reached out to us that is able to do that. And so next year we should be having more of that. We have in years past, we've had like Bang energy drinks there and different Life Aid. We had there one year. We've had different small vendors there, but because of where our course is at, we're also on like I was saying earlier, it's an area where nobody can go because it's a toured area. It's a company does tours there. They actually people pay more to go on a tour there for less time than our racers do.
Hey, that's a great selling point.
Like you could go there and spend hours there with us for less than you would have to pay to go and just take a truck ride down and get back in the truck and ride back out. And so, I try to push that more and more. But it is a big advantage our racers have. But because of that, I can't get too big at the festival, like of a festival area. Now we are, again, that's something we're trying to work on. We've talked about moving our start finish line. Right now, we're literally right off the highway, and what our issue is that it is drawing too much traffic in from the highway. And so if we move back in farther, which we're looking at doing, then we're looking at bringing in a bigger festival. But right now it's kind of just a registration, start area, finish area, DJ. Next year we're gonna have a little bit of food. We have tents to hang out in and get in the shade, water. Lots of racer camaraderie after the race, but festival is going to be building. Working.
Cool. Yep. So you mentioned that there were prizes, are prizes, will be prizes. What were the prizes this year? And then if you want to, you don't have to, if you want to keep it a surprise, prizes next year?
So we're gonna go back to. I'll tell you what the prize were this year after I tell you what the prize were in years past, because that's what we're gonna kind of go back to. So in the years past, we've had handmade local pottery for our first, second, and third place prize for male and female division. I would like to increase those divisions. As long if we can increase numbers, we would definitely do that. But they're really cool local, either horsehair pottery, or there's just different kinds of pottery we use.
Yeah.
And first place got a bigger one, second place a little bit smaller, third place out. And then we also gave out with those like race gear, typically hydration type packs, socks, hats, night headlamps.
Nice.
So, and that's what we did this year is gave out just all the race gear. Like first place got a nice, pretty cool Nathan hydration running pack. It was like a 10-liter, pretty good price point on it, along with a bunch of different stuff stuffed inside of it. Smaller stuff, right? Like a headlamp. I want to say there's a gift certificate or something in there. I had Aaliyah, who helps me out a lot, helps me load all that stuff up and pick out that stuff. But we tend to try to put like around a $250, $300 prize pack together for first place, around the 200 register level, and then just increase it from there. And so that's what we're about at last year. And so, the more registrants we get, the more we put in that stuff. And we actually have, going into next year, we had Darn Tough Socks come in this year with our volunteers. They give all of our volunteers socks, and they want to be part of the race next year too.
That's great.
So, yeah, they're a really cool sponsor. They reached out to us, and so we're hoping to get them involved in the maybe on the racer side. They didn't have enough time. We kind of got it to them last minute this year a little bit, and so they hooked all of our volunteers up, and they want to be involved with us going forward. So I definitely see them inside of our racer prize packs in the future. So yeah, and then Jocko Fuels, the little sample stuff and stuff like that. So we've had Life Aid in the past, put a bunch of stuff in. Beer Salt, always throwing stuff. But there's a lot of we have a lot of little stuff we try to throw into the bags too, and if we can, give it out to all of our racers, right? In years past, we've had swag bags. When we get bigger in that 300, 400 plus numbers, we can typically get swag bag stuff out there for racers. Or at least I've had better opportunities at it. So, so the bigger numbers, they're easier for people to contribute to. They see it more, so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, those sound like great. I would be extremely happy to get a prize pack like that. So that sounds awesome. Yeah. Some races, like I was at one last week, and I don't expect prizes from local obstacle course races, though almost all of them have them for competitive winners and stuff. I just go to those races to have fun and compete. So like, I'm not there for money. I'm not there for like winnings, but I was at one last week who I hopefully will be interviewing soon. And like, I got a glass. So just like a glass, and it's cool with me because I can always use another glass. Like, I don't care. It's a prize.
That's way cool, and like, I like to try, I don't know. I want to make my winners feel like they have something.
Absolutely.
And they, it's like, I know you guys are paying a lot to be here. Everybody's paying a lot to come out. And so, and that's especially the competitive heats too, we charge a little bit extra. So we charge, so I'm going to put that money is what goes back into the prize packs, essentially. That's why I say if we get the bigger we are, the bigger our competitive heats are as well. And then it just, everything becomes a bigger prize fund. And so, it's an extra $20 for the competitive heat, and that money just goes back into all those prize packs and everything. And typically we add a little bit in there as well. We only had about 38 in our competitive heat this year. And so I think yeah, we definitely had we had more than that spent in prize packs and stuff, but
Nice.
yeah, and then the donated stuff too, which is always
Yep.
cool. So.
Okay, so in regards to price, on average, because prices at races vary because like typically if you buy it early, especially when registration first opens, it's a lot cheaper, and then right before the race, it'll be more expensive. But generally, what's the average cost per ticket?
We're right around $100
Cool.
dollars. So I think most people can get in 89. I think is where I see my largest volume at, and that's pretty big window there. But on average, 99. We'll start it. Could be starting as low as $69 here coming up. So, especially for our return racers, like we throw out something to them right away, and so they always get if you race with us in this past race, they'll get an email with a discount off their upcoming race if they want to sign back up. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
so we want them to come back, and we have a lot of return. We had our first and third place finisher this year, and first place female, third place male finisher, the Richardsons. I believe they're. I hope I got their name right. They're like, they. I believe it's their fourth year. It might be their fifth year. Maybe they've done all five, but they've been. Yeah, they have racers have been coming out every year for this race, and so we want to take care of them the best we can. We do have, because of that whole tourist area and everything, there's different expenses for us too that other races don't see. They might, but I'm not just in the middle of a desert behind a mountain somewhere. It's like that no land is being used, and it's easy to get a little permit to run over there. That's like there's a lot of other, because I'm working with a tour company that is in the business to make money. There are other expenses involved, so I got to take care of those. A lot of our money too. We've been working on a nonprofit we've had for a few years called the Native Strength and Resilience Project. We have had what we do is we've provided courses or training for Native Americans to become fitness trainers and take back out onto the reservation. And so we've had about 50 people go through those courses. And so we're working on that. Money goes back to help that as well, that project. And so there's that portion of it. But yeah, it's as far as the cost, I feel I want people to race for as cheap as I can, but we got to be able to keep doing it,
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Anytime. So far, almost, I think everyone has said the same thing. Like, we want people to we want it to be affordable for people, but also the doors need to stay open, because otherwise the race goes away and then people don't get the experience at all. They don't have the fun. So yeah, the doors have to stay open, whatever you have to charge to make that happen. And $100, well, and that's like higher, I guess, depending on when you buy the ticket. But like, if you can get it for 80 or 90 bucks, if you register early, that's a great price. And I
feel like it.
Also mentioned this in most of the interviews, so I'm just beating a horse to death here. But like Spartan and Savage and Tough Mudder, I haven't actually checked Tough Mudder's prices, but they're getting very close to $200 per ticket without discount codes for like pro waves and stuff. So yeah, 180 to 100 is a very reasonable range, and that's where a lot of local OCRs right now are. So.
And we have nice next level tee for them this year. We have T-shirts every year. This was my favorite year's tee was this year, but they get that. They get a really cool race bib. Our medals are like.
I was gonna ask if you had one. Awesome. I'm glad you do.
So I really like their medals this year. So
nice.
Yeah. Wow. So this is a nice thick medal too, and the ribbon or the lanyard is really nice too. It's got dated Horseshoe Bend OCR 2024 on. It's got our tomahawk throw like right up on there and everything. So it's yeah.
Can you hold up the medal one more time?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I just want to point out so that people know that's like the actual view. That's a part of the race, right?
Yeah. So we're running actually.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we run next to this, but yeah,
Yep.
like you can stop and look there, but everybody's running. Yeah, we keep running down the side of that, and we run like next to the canyon there and turn back in, and so and it's on and off. Like you have several different views of the canyon from there, and then the Vermilion Cliff, like just the whole area background too that you don't even see in that medal it's amazing. And the other thing too is like when you go to like a Spartan or something, you go there and you like check into your hotel and do your race and get some food afterwards, and then it's like, well, what am I going to do in Phoenix or whatever, or like wherever I'm at here. Like there are so many other cool activities that the OCR or outdoor type people would love to do. They're even short, like our slot canyons that we're like, well, the millions of people come here a year for. We have Lake Powell. People go kayak into Antelope Canyon. I don't know if you're ever have you heard of Antelope Canyon before?
I have seen hundreds of photos, and I would love to go there.
You're familiar, yeah? Those beautiful, like that's right here. That's 5 minutes from our race, So people are just they go home or go back to their hotel, clean up next morning, go to a slot canyon, go do a kayak row because they don't have to use their legs into the slot canyon in April, like 80-degree weather. Just really cool stuff for obstacle course racers to do. And that's what I wish I was a better marketer too. Being in a small town, I don't have a whole lot of aid. I have some people here and there to help me out a little bit, but I've really tried to tackle a lot of this myself. It was just it was a thought of mine 8 years ago that I had a buddy push me in, like who actually is one of the land owners where I'm at. He's part of that whole tour company. He gave me a push and he's like, hey, come do it out here. I'd always wanted to do one around here. He's like, come do it next to Horseshoe Bend. I was really? And so a great idea. I've got to work on the other areas of getting people informed about this kind of other stuff that's available for them to do out here, because we're not just that OCR where you can come race a cool race, really cool race, but you can do so much more around it too when you get out here. And it's just like, well, yeah, why would I not? I need to be checking this place off my bucket list anyway. I need to go to Antelope Canyon anyway because that place it's amazing. And so come race the OCR too. Duh, I would. For me as an OCR back in the day, that was like a no-brainer. Like I definitely don't do as many as I used to, but I was like, I would love go do an OCR there and do all that stuff, and so that's what we have. And yeah,
awesome. You mentioned the marketing. Perfect, because I don't have to ask. No. So what types of things do you do for marketing? And consistently through all these interviews, this is something that I like to ask, because small OCRs, sometimes it's a small community, sometimes it's a bigger community, all depends. You're in a pretty small community where you are, so you have to reach further out to bring people in. So what types of things are you doing for marketing?
And it's been like majority of on social media. I've tried different avenues. Even the city of Page put us on a billboard in Phoenix, and one of those electronic billboards. They also put us on some other web marketing, Google marketing, but I haven't had the return that I had off of anything but social media. It's been my best, and it's mainly been Facebook. I've tried Instagram, but the issue with Facebook, the first year I had really good, I did really well on Facebook, every year since, so it's not been nearly as well, and it feels like I've spent just more and more money every year. And I've tried similar marketing. Uh, you know, I'm sorry, I just had some.
You're
My
good.
wife just came by with my kids, and my dog just came in whining, so it distracted me a little bit. Quiet, and she forgot to leave him outside. So, they had some. I've had the same type of campaigns running every year, but it feels like less and less each year. So I'm always trying new stuff, but I haven't in the few years past, I haven't found anything that I've really found optimal. Like my cost per lead or per registrant is around $20. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, it's pretty up there. And
Yeah.
and so that's why
I
I'm
wonder
not
why.
working that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a social media expert by any means. I've taken a bunch of courses. But somehow and part of it is because I don't really love social media. I don't really even like social media very much. It's cool for some things, and then the rest of it I think is a waste of time, and I just end up staring at a phone uselessly for way longer than I want to. So I'm not very good at it. Like in theory, I understand the stuff, but in practice, nah. So I know it's a struggle.
It is a struggle, but I like if I don't do anything, nobody knows. Like if I don't spend any money, then like I get 50 people here, and so I feel like I pushed harder in my community the first year, and I think I need to do that. Go back to kind of do that. And I had a lot of outward spread from my community in that first year, but we've had people come from every year. We have them come from as far as like Maine. We had the Highlanders. So he was just out there. Yeah, I'm spacing his name, but yes, that's probably why it's not the easiest for me to remember. But he he was out here. We had people from, I believe, Florida. We've had lots. We get it gets it spreads out there, but it's not cheap.
Yes,
hasn't been cheap for me anyway. So, but whatever it takes, we'll keep doing it as long as we can. So
sweet, I love it. I would love to make it out there sometime. Travel, like I used to travel a little bit more. It was more regional though, like northeast-ish, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, all that, and some New York stuff. But I'm in North Carolina now, and just with work and family and stuff, I don't travel nearly as far or as much to races. But man, maybe one day. Luke and I
you gotta check them out, man. And like with this year we had our bib pickup the night before at a restaurant it's a big restaurant. It's like a family restaurant. They have like a play area for kids outside. There's like a goofy miniature golf course out front and everything. And so it was a perfect place to like bring the family to and everything. And we also let spectators come out for free. And so I mean, if you think about that value there, like I had to pay for my family $480 to take them on a tour, or if I go race and watch me, and they walk down there to the obstacle that's by that overlook and watch me, then that's a pretty good discount. Yeah, that pays for like gas out or airfare or whatever. So I'll look at it that way.
Fair enough.
Vacation, family vacation. So y'all get to enjoy.
Yeah. I really there's a lot of races that I really want to get to. And it's going to be a process, like year over year. Like my brother and I, he's the co-owner of Trio Fitness. He and I are planning or trying to plan which further local smaller races we can make it to next year. So we shall see.
You get us in that list. Like I said, I don't know when our tourism days are. Tourism is going to finally push us out. So, but we got a few more years, I feel like.
Good. Okay, so you've mentioned some challenges already, but what do you find most challenging about hosting an obstacle course race?
Well, for me specifically, my location is, you know, as far as means for uh, volunteers to get here, it's like paid what it's going to cost me to pay somebody to come here, media, timing. I typically pay by the mile for timers.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So, um, yeah, and I'm pretty far away from any timer. I tried to do it myself one year, and I'll keep paying timers, but
Yeah.
um, but it's not cheap again. Like, so my location has been tough, and and my course location, because that sand is not easy to set up a, a good footed course. And so, we work on little trail sections all the time, but it's a big area, and that'll take many years to stomp out something that would be permanent. And then uh, volunteers. I've been fortunate in the past. I also uh, own a CrossFit gym, and so I forced my CrossFit members to come help.
That's
or
nice.
they're
Good.
or they're
Great.
subject to lots of burpee workouts for that week.
A little motivation to get out there.
That's not entirely true.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of truth to that. I have a lot of volunteers for my CrossFit gym in the past,
Great.
and so we have pretty good strong being involved in a fitness community. I've been fortunate. I feel like it's easier to get help in a fitness community. You have you have a lot of people that want to be a part of those type of events, and so hasn't been a huge challenge for me. But my challenges for volunteers coming from other places, I always have people that tell me they want to come volunteer, but then uh, it's too expensive to travel, or the room prices that weekend. So we are set up to host a lot of people in this town, though, and so actually room prices are typically pretty good. We have a lot of hotels here, a lot. It's not like going to a local race that might be in a smaller population of even 20 or 30,000. We're a small town of like 7,000, but we have a hotel infrastructure that would be comparable to something like of 200,000 or 300,000. Like we literally have the most expensive resort in the world.
What?
Worth around, yeah, I think it's up to 4,000 a night.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Is
So
it?
if you're into that, what's that?
I mean, like, we don't have to get into it, but
You
that's
know,
crazy. I'm gonna have
yeah,
to
it
look
is.
that up later.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah, I can tell you the name of it. It's
Yeah.
the Amangiri Resort. The Amman properties. There's like, I don't know, a dozen or so throughout the world, but Amangiri with a Giri is here, just outside of Page, and yeah, the rooms are like 3,000 or 4,000 a night, and so yeah, people, because of we have around here, we have
Yeah.
that type of, so many people want to come visit this area. It's really cool. I mean, the race itself, like where it's at. But yeah, we all have all the way down to the Motel 6 and everything in between. Over 200 VRBOs. Like in a town of 7,000, we have over 200 VRBOs. Like,
Goodness gracious.
yeah, so we have places for people to stay, really good food for people to eat too. So I think that's really another cool thing about our OCR location for the traveling, or somebody that wants to try a new OCR is like, they're not going to just get stuck with like OCR and hotel room, and like, getting some food. You can enjoy some more to your travels than just going and working your butt off for that day. So,
Oh boy, I just had a question and lost it.
then it's because I can just talk.
Doesn't. No, you're good. You're good. This doesn't normally happen. I mean, it does something. All right, I can't remember it. It was something to do with the hotels. Oh, how far are the hotels from the actual venue? Just in general.
So we have a shuttle pickup.
Okay.
And there's several hotels that are walking distance to the shuttle. So
Mm.
yeah, I think the La Quinta is, the Motel 6 is. There's like the Home to Suites, I think it is. It's like right there. Then there's like the Days Suites and a few others that are Hampton Inn, and it's really nearby. Like everything's within like majority are within 5 minutes. So to the
Okay.
shuttle.
Wow. All right. So very short travel from hotel room to venue.
Very short. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The shuttle ride out is like 5 minutes too.
Cool.
So.
All right. We've burned all of my questions as far as I have them right now. I'll probably come up with more later, but it's okay. I always do. At this point, is there anything else you would like people to know about your race?
Well, for past racers, we're going to, be, like I said, changing those competitive obstacles a little bit. If you don't want to be in the competitive heat, you might not have to carry 150-pound sandbag.
Okay.
Right. So you're probably going to have something a little bit more suitable to why you showed up. Right. And so competitors, it's still going to be tough. Like if you want a good competitive challenge, you come race this race, like get in a competitive heat, and you'll have a good competitive challenge that'll set you up for any other competitive OCR race out there. We're also going to be adding obstacles next year, at least one big one. We're going to be investing some money and time into something good, really cool for all you past racers that want to see new stuff. We added a few walls this year, but nothing special. Well, we made this. It was like wall alley, yeah, just like this. It was 4 walls in a row. You just did. So that was kind of challenging for some in really soft sand too. So like your jumping factor was really diminished.
Yeah.
But and so past racers, we're going to be changing that up a little bit for you. So competitive, staying really competitive, adding something in there, non-competitive. We're going to make it a little bit more non-competitive, and again, adding an obstacle in. For everybody else, like I was saying, if you haven't been to Page, Arizona, or the Northern Arizona area, and you're an obstacle course racer, you can knock 2 things off your list. Like you can knock off visiting this beautiful, amazing area, because it's just getting more and more crowded and harder to visit every year. And you can get this race knocked off your list before the chance of it possibly going away does happen. So hopefully not, but again, we're a popular area. It's a popular area here. It's gaining with popularity. It's more, social media took care of that pretty easily. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, things to look forward to. Hopefully, man, I'm not going to hold my breath because I don't think we're going to make it next year, but I really hope if it were to go to a different location or something, hopefully we make it before then. But yeah, sounds like an awesome event. And if I get the chance, I'm going to be there because I did a lot of races because of the locations, because I love the beautiful nature. I love the amazing scenery, especially that type. Canyons, caves, like rivers and all. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, it's worth it, man. If I'm telling you, if you got to bump a few down, sorry, you other guys, whoever you hit. I'm
gonna post a public list of the races I'm going to, and then make others. No, come to this one.
The red line through and Horseshoe Bend OCR written off to the side with the arrow pointed into it right there. Yeah.
Hey, that's good marketing.
I would. I mean, I'm telling you that if I were you, that's what I would do. But yeah,
fair enough.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm sure. I know there's great races. I know there's a lot of really great races out there to visit. I need to get out to them too.
Well, that's going to be the worst part about interviewing so many races is by the end, I will have all the information about all of them and every good reason to go to all of them. And it'll take years to make it to all.
You're going to be doing running those Your
Oh,
seats for sure.
yeah.
I'll have a
Absolutely.
master seat for you by then, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll be 60 and I'll make it to Arizona.
Yeah. We've had some old guys coming around a race, man. I got some pick. Yeah. So yeah, well, by then we probably could have that 60 plus.
Awesome. I'll be there for it. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for explaining the race, talking about all of it. I hope anyone who's listening gets way better insight about the race. They should absolutely go to your website because the images, your website looks fantastic. The images are awesome. It's super well put together. So it's horseshoebendocr.com.
Mm-hmm.
I have it pulled up right now, which is why I'm saying it. But yeah, they should check it out because it's beautiful. The photos are beautiful. It's honestly, like not knocking other races, but some races don't have the best websites. Our website's not that good.
Well, that's
beautiful.
I don't feel like it's that good. I'm like that. So yeah, all that's. Well, we're always making it better, though. You know, I'm always making better. So
cool.
Thanks,
all right,
man.
Best of luck to you with your event next year. I hope you get a ton of signups, and thank you again.
I hope to see you down the road. Thank you, Joel.